because I promised him I wouldn't say nothing. And I told him the day you die, it's a wrap. Oh, well, here it is. And then I became the troublemaker. Haven't spoken to anybody in my family since then, including my mother. Didn't go to her funeral, none of that. I'm cool. I'm at peace. So the defenses that y'all see, I had to. It was me or it was me.
So it's basically these defense mechanisms that you display, you've had to use those since you was a little kid.
Very little. Yes.
And I suggested that it would be something that could possibly help her to understand where you're coming from and kind of...
Not possibly, absolutely.
Right. And so, you know, last time we talked, you had alluded to some things happening to you when you was younger. Were you ready to more express kind of what it was that happened?
Not exactly. I'm going to be honest with you. So...
You need a hug right now?
Make it better. No, I'm okay. And that's amazing that I'm okay, but I'm okay.
Come here, give me a hug.
Yep.
Come on. Come on, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. All right. How do you feel? Does it feel good to release that stuff?
It does. It feels good that somebody wanted to listen.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. What's up, YouTube? I have the best trainer in Atlanta and possibly the world. Hit him up on Instagram at KD with the Muscle. Now back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with the update. So you done got your daughter. Mission accomplished.
Well, I gotta take my shoes off.
Yes, sir. Hey, hey.
Right there, so I can take my ass, you know what I'm talking about?
Man.
Mission is not accomplished. They screwed us, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, she just told us. Yeah, she just told us that she basically has to be here till Tuesday at the minimum. So.
And see, here's the thing about being a single parent, right? It doesn't matter how hard you try, how much money is in the bank, or any of that, because today she has a younger sister. Y'all know who London is, right? London graduates from the 8th grade on the 6th, the same day she has to be here in court. She's an honor student. She had a program today that I missed where she was an MC. She performed in a fashion show that I had to miss. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what amount of money, if I was able to get on a plane or if I was able to jet ski myself. I'm only one person, and to try to be here for 2 kids right now is pulling me. Like, do I leave Kayla in Atlanta so she can handle the business she need to handle? Because I need to go to work and I need to be there for my youngest one as well. But if I leave her here, she has nobody and nowhere to go. She don't even have her phone because they auction her stuff off. So if I leave her here, I leave her assed out.
Does she have like an ID and stuff like that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
She has nothing.
Jesus Christ.
But me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So do I go home? I'm supposed to be back to work on the 3rd. Do I call my job and say I can't make it?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I do not envy your position because I can't even imagine.
Over $200 on bus tickets, not even 30 minutes before they called talking about she was supposed to be somewhere this morning at 11:30, but the phone call didn't come till 11:10. Which yesterday I was told it was gonna be virtual, but now she got to be there in person.
So were you able to get the tickets transferred to Tuesday?
We'll be able to get the tickets transferred to Tuesday. However, where we sleeping tonight? I do have money. I'm not.
Did anybody send you any cash apps from
yes,
last night?
I did receive $25 so far.
25.
And we greatly appreciate it. And that's already stashed to the side with what I do have. So if we're able to come up with a room tonight, we can do that. But y'all know my motto: if we need to eat and live, I'm not paying for a hotel room. There's no need for a hotel room if we can't eat. I'm not doing that.
Whew.
So I don't know what to do right now. You understand what I'm saying? I've exhausted everything I know how to exhaust. And what else am I to do? But anyway, how y'all doing today? Hey, y'all.
Well, you know, that sucks to hear. I mean, yeah, that definitely sucks to hear, right? Wow. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, I just got done talking with your daughter, a very pleasant young lady. And so, you know, we talked about a few things, right? Sure. Talked about how she ended up in the situation with, you know, her baby daddy and all like that. But we also talked about you guys' relationship and how there's a strain on it sometimes because I asked her, like, why she decided to leave your house, why this and why that. And, you know, she was able to express that, you know, some of it came from just like you had said in your earlier interview, some of the earlier childhood stuff where you wasn't quite as present. And
Right.
so,
Right.
you know, she harbors a little bit of resentment,
Of course.
you know, for that. And so I explained to her that, hey, well, you know, have you ever talked to your mom, first of all, and express how you feel? She said, no, I don't really express how I feel. I don't like confrontations. I get that, right? But then she also, I asked her, well, has your mom ever told you about any of her childhood? And she told me that she had maybe heard some things, but that you had never actually like talked to her about it. And I suggested that it would be something that could possibly help her to understand where you're coming from and kind
Not
of
possibly, absolutely.
right. And so, you know, last time we talked, you had alluded to some things happening to you when you was younger. Were you ready to more express kind of what it was that happened?
Not exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, like I just told you before, it's real hard for me to stand here, right, and do this and do it with you all when I have yet to do it with myself. A lot of the things I don't talk about with people, with my children, with myself, with God. You understand what I'm saying? Because I just kind of feel like I need it to go away. I don't talk to God about it because God is somebody who is supposed to protect and all of this, but you allow this to happen to a defenseless child over and over again. So there's an issue with that relationship. So I just kind of, you know what I'm saying?
When I get that, right? But you know what happens when you hold these things inside, man?
Right.
They become cancers inside of you. And they show up in all type of negative ways, negative behaviors, all type of negative energy.
This is true.
So, I mean, just, you know, what was it that happened?
So what had happened was, my very first memory as a little girl is being in the closet on my knees with my nephew, performing oral sex. It's my very first memory ever.
How old were you?
Maybe 3. Because the house that I described in this memory, they tell me that I should not remember anything that happens in this house. I remember a couple of things. They tell me you shouldn't remember that, but I do. So they tell me I was 2 or 3 years old whenever we lived in that house, so I shouldn't remember anything. So I was in the closet with one nephew, and one nephew was outside making sure nobody was coming. I am the youngest child of 12. There's 12 of us. I have 7 sisters and 4 brothers. So I didn't grow up with my brothers and sisters. I grew up with my nieces and nephews. So a lot of the time I was left unattended with older siblings or their children.
Right.
And things happen when kids are left unattended.
How long did this go on for?
Let's see, we moved down here when I was in the 3rd grade, so I had to be about
8
9.
8 or 9?
Yeah. Yep. So whenever these things came to light, you know, I was called a liar. I got beat. Not only did my mother beat me, my sister beat me. So then it became a thing with my nephews. They knew that if I said something, I was going to get in trouble. So I was just a sex toy until we left Jersey City.
And when did y'all leave Jersey City?
I was in the 3rd grade.
Okay, so that was the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So
we
wait,
moved to Charlotte in 89.
And so you did tell your mom?
Of course.
And so how far after it started did you have the wherewithal to tell her? Because you was pretty young. Okay, so it had been going on for a while.
Because the conversations came up in school. You know, they have these conversations in school that tell you. Now, I had heard before I started school that I was fast. You know what I'm saying? Because of my actions, I thought it was okay for me to sit between somebody's legs because this is the stuff that was going. Children don't come here with these actions. Stop telling your children that they fast or hot or bad or whatever. These are learned behaviors. This is something that they have learned at your house or wherever you leaving them. Stop telling these babies they fast. You don't come here knowing stuff like that. You learn that. And listen to them. It don't matter who it is. Listen to them. So I forgot where I was. So I was being called fast and all of that because of my actions as a little girl. So whenever I was in school, like the 2nd grade, and at PS 41 in Jersey City, New Jersey, anybody, shout out, you know what I'm saying? They was bringing up these conversations about happy places and where you should be touched and where people should not touch, and this, that, the third, that should happen. Me not knowing I'm not supposed to say anything, I'm like, but wait a minute, y'all know I like to talk. I got this going on, that going on. So, you know, some people showed up. And
so you said that at the school?
Yeah. And some people showed up, and then we moved to Charlotte. And I had a conversation with my father. And he sat me down, and he was like, you know, some people going to go to jail. You don't want that to happen. Like, me and your mother going to go to jail. Like, you don't want that to happen, right? I did not want that to happen. But I didn't want nothing else to happen either. And it happened one other time once we moved down south. But I think he know better now.
It happened one other time as far as your cousin?
South, it's my nephew.
I'm sorry, your nephew, yeah.
Yeah. One other time we moved down south, and then he had to stay with us, and we was sharing a room. Me, him, and my sister was sharing a room because another one of my sisters was living with us too. And I was in the room, he was in the bed, and he pulled it out and it was like, suck it. He won't do that again.
Did you?
So
what, did you bite it?
He won't do it again. And I guarantee you, he had to answer some questions to his wife. I guarantee you. And every other female, if he's ever seen it, he's had to talk about me.
So, okay, so I mean, just to be clear, you bit it?
I damaged it.
Ooh, that hurt when you just said it. Like, that just hurt when you just said it.
Oh, well.
Like,
oh, well.
No, I mean, forget him. I'm just saying. Ooh, wee. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying?
So, did it ever go beyond, did it ever go beyond oral to him just having sex with you? Okay, so it was always him making you do oral?
Yep.
And your mom didn't believe you, and your sister didn't believe you. How did that make you feel?
To be honest with you, when I was born, my mother was in her 40s, right? With her tubes tied, not wanting to have any more kids. And if there was anything she could do about it, I wouldn't be here. I've heard it 99 and a half times. And growing up, I learned that she watched her mom be abused by her father. He was an alcoholic, and she watched her mom get beat for a whole lot of times. What I heard is the father of my oldest sister, that wasn't a wanted sexual encounter. And back then it was, what goes on in this house, stay in this house. You didn't talk about stuff like that.
Right.
And so by the time I'm in my teenagers, if I was born in her 40s, by the time I hit my 20s, she's in her 60s, like, who she is who she is. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So they didn't understand what help looked like because they were never helped in their own situations. Things got swept under the rug and you kept it moving. So I had to learn to not fault her for how she handled it because it was never dealt with her. In the same way I just told you, it's hard for me to stand here and talk to you about some stuff that I haven't dealt with. How could she defend me in a situation where she was never defended? How can she deal with that with me, with it never being dealt with herself? So who knows where that situation took her mentally to even have to deal with me telling her what happened.
Let me ask you something real quick.
Forgiveness I had to learn.
So, her saying, because you said that whenever people say things, it's normally something that sticks out in their mind, right? And you had just said that she said 99 and a half times. She said all the time that if it were up to her, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
Just take a second, and I want you to just examine how did that really make you feel?
We're gonna be standing here a long time. We want feelings about that. So you want me to be honest, so here it is. It wasn't always so much of her just saying that, you know what I'm saying? And in the previous interviews, you know what I'm saying, I told you before, it looked like I came from a very good household. There was a mother and a father, they both went to work, there was multiple cars outside, you understand what I'm saying? Everything looked good, right? But just because you have all of those things don't mean that you're being taken care of. So it wasn't just her saying that, it was also the actions. I was in the choir and nobody ever showed up for any of my performances. Whenever I tried out for stuff, it was, yeah, you can do that, but you better find your own way to and from this, that, and the third, and the other. So the defenses that y'all see, I had to. It was me or it was me.
So it's basically these defense mechanisms that you display, you've had to use those since you was a little kid.
Very little. Yes. Very little. Recreating. Here is what you do when you deny the truth of your child, right? Whenever your child comes to you and say, hey, this is what happened to me, and you fought them for crying about something, you being a punk, fought them for that. You fought them for having feelings about people not liking them. We're not even talking about molestation and shit that cause real trauma. We're talking about little stuff that kids see and go through every day where they need us. And we sweep stuff under the rug. Whenever you deny their truth, you teach them how to recreate reality. Because the truth that they're living in, they can't handle, nor is anybody helping them live it. So now, in order to deal with this right here, I have to be someplace else in order to deal with here. So whenever they go to a place where you're saying, oh, I just don't understand, why are they doing that? Or why won't you talk to me? Think about how you're talking to them and what you're saying to them. And how safe and comfortable you make them feel with bringing you their authentic selves. Or do they have to create a character for you? Because that same character, they have to create over and over again to deal with life. Over and over. And then it becomes confusing. That line between reality and the world I made up. Reality, So then we have bipolar. Then we have what's schizophrenia. Because this is what you've taught your brain to do. Stop doing that to your kids. Talking to myself.
No, listen, I mean...
Talking to myself as well. Because a whole lot of the things, I'm a product of my environment. And a lot of the ways that I was raised, I passed on to my own kids, which is why our relationship is what it is. However, with knowledge comes understanding. And when you understand, you want to do better. And I thank God for the want to do better. My mother died taking a whole lot of stuff with her. And I don't want to die like that. Even if my children, even if the relationship never gets back to what I'm praying for as a mother and daughter, they will know wholeheartedly that I'm not okay with who I was and what I did, and none of it was okay, and I'm sorry. You understand what I'm saying? So whether I never got that. I never got that. My mother told me I was harassing her when I wanted to talk about stuff. When I brought this up at my father's funeral, and you know, because I promised him I wouldn't say nothing, and I told him the day you die, it's a wrap. Oh well, here it is. And then I became the troublemaker. Haven't spoken to anybody in my family since then, including my mother. Didn't go to her funeral, none of that. I'm cool. I'm at peace. I'm all right. And I got a book coming called Why Am I Like This? Which goes into, like I said, a whole lot of stuff I have to forgive her for because she didn't know how.
And ultimately, forgiveness is for you. You know, it's not for the person. You know?
Right. So I can move on. See what parts of her that are still very much alive in me, so I can change that. And
you need a hug right now?
Make it better. No, I'm okay. And that's amazing that I'm okay, but I'm okay.
Come here, give me a hug.
Yep.
Come on. Come on, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. All right. How do you feel? Does it feel good to release that stuff?
It does. It feels good that somebody wanted to release it.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. You squeeze as long as you need to. No time limit on it.
Hold on, let go. But yeah.
All right.
Feels real good. Yo. But where we gonna sleep tonight?
Listen. All right, so I'm gonna go home and try to get this up as soon as possible, okay? And see if we can, you know, get it up and get some folks rolling in, hopefully with some cash apps, some donations, a little bit of love, a little bit of help. So
and some advice, yo. What do I do? Do I leave her here and let her fend for herself, knowing the situation? The only other person that's for her here is the baby daddy.
I'm gonna tell you.
Not saying that that's bad, because that's a child father. They're gonna have to learn how to do something together. But
maybe not right now.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do I leave my 13-year-old alone? There's
no, you are in a conundrum. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, because I know how important it is for that little girl up there to have her mom there when she's going to be getting her awards and doing all that stuff. But I also know how important it is that you make sure that you see her back home, you know. And so I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? Y'all let us know. All right, so you know, like I said, we already got your Cash App up there. So we really appreciate you, and we're really happy for you. We're happy that you was able to get little fella the first time you came, and then now we're happy that you're able to get your daughter, and things are gonna be moving forward. And who knows, maybe from all this, you come out of this whole situation an evolved version of yourself.
I feel it happening. I feel it happening.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Listen, man, sometimes you run into a Marcus and good things happen, right?
The little shiny buff man, because that's who he was the first time. Little shiny buff man with a little white tank top on.
All right, well, listen, we really appreciate you and definitely wish you nothing but the best, all right?
Thank you. Thank you
Make
so
sure you
much.
have a
Thank
good
you,
one,
Marcus.
sweetie.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you.
All love, all love.